What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effect. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's 30-minute spine and scapula focus class. So we'll be going through a lot of different cars. So we'll go through our spine, or our cervical cars, our thoracic cars, and then we're going to be getting into our cat cow for a more linear spine car. Not truly a rotation like our T-spine cars, but it's still relative rotation of the vertebrae. And then we'll be getting into some quadruped scap work as well. So we'll just start here and collapse kneeling. So if you have a block, you want to sit on my block, you can do that as well. I'm just going to be sitting on the heels, have my fists into the floor. That just gives me good stability through the shoulders. I'm going to continue to try to keep that tension down the whole time. So as I work with my cervical cars, I'm not shrugging up, right? So I'm just trying to isolate the cervical spine, shoulders locked in, spine nice and tight. Take a breath in, brace the core, and go to flexion. We'll go to the right, chin to the right collarbone. Look over that right blind spot. Take my right ear over my shoulder. Keep those shoulders down. Rotate to the top. Over the top, ear goes over the shoulder. Chin to collarbone. And through. Let's go one more time. Rotate, blind spot, ear over, all the way around, nice and slow. Ear goes over the shoulder, chin to the collarbone, and through. Let's reverse. Chin to left collarbone, ear goes over, rotate, chin down, through. We got one more time. Keep those fists on the floor, over the top, bring it around, chin to collarbone, and rotate from there. Stay in the collapsed quadruped position, or collapsed kneeling position, I should say. Well, we're going to take a block, and we're going to hug it to our chest, right above the rib cage. We're going to take it just like this. So the block will be sideways. I'm sitting on my heels, so I'm just helping to lock down my lumbar spine a little bit more. And then we go to my T-spine cars. So we have 2 reps each direction, just like we did the cervical spine. So my chin will be in my chest the whole time. Squeeze this block nice and tight. I'm going to flex just at the upper back. So the block is kind of that fulcrum point that we're flexing through. So right on that bottom edge there. So I'm flexing, squeeze that block nice and tight, rotate as far as I can go without anything else moving. That's because we're blocking ourselves off. Less motion. Lateral flexion. Keep squeezing that block nice and tight. I'm going to get tall through the thoracic spine. Everything stays down. Laterally flex. Rotate. Pull the elbows in, back to the center. Let's go one more time. Rotate. Flex. Extend, get tall. Squeeze the life out of that block. Keep that chin in the chest. Laterally flex, take my right shoulder down, so flex, rotate it, and rotate through the center. Let's go 2 back the other way. Rotate, flex, you should feel a good stretch all the way through here in that flexion. Stand over the top, laterally flex to the right, elbows come in, through the center. Let's go one more time. Rotate, flex, extend up, and flex, rotate, elbows drop, forward. Very good. We'll go from there, pull the block off to the side, we'll get to our cat cow. So if you've done the cat cow with us before, you know that we have like you'd see a lot of times in our yoga classes, which is just a more global cat cow. We're going to be doing what's called a segmental cat cow, right? So we're going to do 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll start in flexion, 1 vertebrae at a time, and extend all the way up, so we'll end in our cow position, and then we're going to work from flexion to tailbone again, all the way back up into our cat, okay? So we're going to go 3 reps. Go super slow here, okay? So hands under the shoulders, knees under those hips. From there, I'm just going to slowly tuck my tailbone, right? So I'm going to flex, drive my back up, pull my tailbone under my body as if I'm trying to pull my chin and my belt buckle towards each other. trying to drive up, trying to create as much of a rounded back as possible, as much lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion, and cervical flexion as I can. Once I've reached that point, I'm going to just start by slowly extending just my tailbone, just work. Keep everything else flexed. That should be super slow. And now I'm working kind of lower back, going up into the TL junction, just trying to extend one vertebra at a time, everything else flexed. Like rib cage, keep flexing, press away from the floor. Lift, thoracic spine, keep pressing away, don't squeeze those shoulder blades, lift that chest, and lift the chin. So this is my cow. There, I'm going to start the tailbone again, super slow, just tuck that tailbone, lower lumbar spine, keep everything else extended, and just one vertebra at a time. We're just working all the way back up that spine. Trying to go one segment back into our full cat position, and then we'll go right back into it. Again, one vertebrae, everything else nice and tight. Once you've maxed out one vertebrae, just work into the next one. Keep going. Lift that chest, keep pressing away from the floor, max extension, there, tuck, super slow, round it out, back into our cat. One more time, if this bothers the wrists, you can of course go to the fisted position, where we're just getting a little bit more scraping down with those wrists, so we're not creating as much of that extension position. I'll do one rep from here. It's used to bother my wrist, but luckily it does not, because I do my wrist pounding rails, so it's something that you can work to improve as you go. So we just stay flexed. Just extend one vertebrae at a time. Work all the way up. Full extension. Try to pull it back my head towards my tailbone. Get a good squeeze all the way up the back. Last one. Tuck. Keep working to get full flexion. One vertebrae at a time, all the way back up. Now T-spine, cervical spine, and relax. There. Shake out those shoulders a little bit. Pulling that position for a long time can be a little bit tiring, so just give the shoulders a little bit of a break. We're going to give them a little stimulus, a little bit of a break in the shoulders themselves, but we're going to go into our scapular work. So from there, I'm just going to be blocked out with my elbows. I'm going to block out in front. I'll look from the side so you can kind of see what I'm working with. But all I'm trying to do is draw a circle with not spine now, so this is why we're doing them together, because a lot of times people want to pair protraction, which is shoulder blades coming forward, with spinal flexion. They think, if I can get more here, it's good, then this must be better, right? But we're trying to differentiate the two. So what we're trying to work on is just scapular protraction, scapular retraction. That's my shoulder blades coming together. So we're just gonna start there. We'll go 5 reps. Elbows locked, squeeze that block nice and tight, brace that core, and then just go forward, protract, retract, and back. That's 1. Protract, retract, protract, retract, squeeze that block, protract, retract, last one, protract, retract. Very good. So from there, let's go into our full scapular car. So we get protraction, elevation, retraction, depression, and we're just working a circle. So we go 5 each way. So although we are doing 4 kind of points, we do want to not kind of draw a diamond with those shoulder blades, but want to draw a nice clean circle. Okay, so we want to make sure we're hitting all those kind of edges of that circle, so we know the shoulder blades can function wherever they need to function, right? So we don't just function just like this, right? But we function along that kind of continuum of scapular motion, okay? So set yourself up, get nice and tall, brace that core. We'll start with protraction, elevation, retraction, and depression, right? So we heard those 4 points, but now it's round them out. So round, 2, around, 3, 2 more, around, squeeze back, 4, that's 1, and 5, and then let's reverse. Retract, elbows stay straight, shrug, and come over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, check them out. Very good. Okay, so we're going to get that same thing into our quadruped position now. Okay, so we're back to this kind of similar to our cat cow. From there, we're just going to work same thing. Just make sure my hands under my shoulders, knees are under my hips, core stays engaged, and let's just do 5 cars in each direction. So let's start with protraction, elevation, retraction, and depression. Pull it down. So here, core stays engaged. Rotations, coming back, starts 2, shrug, retract, pull, press, 3, shrug, retract, pull, press, that's 4, we got 1 more, shrug, retract, back down, and press. Let's reverse that, so we're going to retract, shrug, press, pull down, and then just one more, so here, super slow, 2, 3, 4, the last one, 5, very good, okay, shake the shoulders down a little bit. Okay, from there we're going to work back into some spinal work. So we're going to go what's called a lumbar lock, Thoracic Cat Cow. And then just sitting on the heels, on my arms out in front, about 45 degrees here. And because I'm sitting in this position, we're naturally going to kind of round out that lumbar spine a little bit. It's really just going to help us isolate from our TL junction, which we got right here, all the way up. So it's our thoracic spine. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with our cat cow. So now we're just working on the upper back. So here, legs where they need to be, get the arms nice and spread, center yourself on your mat like me. That's good. So here, sit on those heels, arms out front, and then we're just going to flex that thoracic spine. There, straight ahead. We're not straight ahead, but straight out front. And then from there, we're just going to stand. So I want to make sure I'm not squeezing my shoulders like this. So keep pressing away from the floor, kind of that protraction motion. And then get a subtle spread. So the floor is here, right? So I'm trying to pull the ground apart just a little bit. That just gives me a little stability. Give my shoulder blades something to do. So they don't want to retract as I come into extension. Okay. I'm going to lift that chest tall. Lifting the chest, not just the chin, but lift the chest. Feel the back side, or feel the back squeezing, and then let's go back into flexion. So this is the one where you sit at a desk a lot, spend a lot of time kind of in a forward flex position. This is something that you should definitely work on. So it's not always about just staying in one position, right? Static posture. There's not a whole lot of evidence to back, staying in one position. Really, it's all about motion, right? So the more motion we can create in our day, the more we can combat the negative effects of staying in, say, a seated posture for 8 to 10 hours in a day, right? So I'm trying to do as much motion through the thoracic spine if you can. Then make a lift the chest. Try to get out here. That's going to help give us more stimulus to that upper back. Let's go one more. Flexion. Drive that back through the shirt. As much stretch as you can there, and then just go back one more time and do extension. Trying to lift the chest. Chin can raise, but it's not too much cervical. Just trying to get nice and tall, trying to show the logo of your shirt forward. Relax. Okay. So that was our thoracic focus with our lumbar lock. Now we're going to do a lumbar focus with a thoracic block. So what we're going to do, kind of take your same quadruped position there, and then you're just going to drop down your elbows, hands here, and then I'm just going to pull my head in between my hands. So this kind of rounds the same thing with the lumbar, right? And round it out a little bit, just to kind of block off my thoracic spine. And then I'm just going to focus on the lumbar flexion extension. Okay, let's take a breath in. Relax that upper body, and then we're just going to flex that lumbar spine. Flex that lumbar spine, get as much tailbone tuck as possible. And then we're just going to stand that lumbar spine. Lift that tailbone as much as you can. Like that. Flexion. As you move, especially, right? So take an inhale, exhale, and flex. Squeeze as much of it out as you can. Flex that spine. Exhale. And that lumbar spine. Try to lift that tailbone. Again, motion is lotion, right? Motion is the key, especially at the spine. A lot of us don't do enough in our daily life. Flexion, the more motion you can get, not only in one specific area of the spine, but spread out through all the vertebrae. Better you're going to feel, better you're going to function, less injury prone you will be. One more time here. Flex. Tuck that tailbone, try to round out that lumbar spine as much as possible. Last one here. Bend as much arch on that lower back as you can. Try to lift that tailbone. Put it up, 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 and then relax. Okay. There, let's go right back into some more segmental cat cows. I'm going to focus on one specific area of the spine. Now we'll go through the whole spine again. There's 2 reps all the way up, all the way back down, starting all the way up, and then starting the tailbone again back into flexion. Right? So start flexion or into extension. We go back into flexion. Come down. Right? So knees under hips, elbow and shoulders. Tuck as much as you possibly can. Tucking, tucking, tucking. And let's go round 2 segmental cat cow. Just untuck the tailbone. Again, it should be nice and fresh in my mind after this work in the lumbar. Just going to work one vertebrae at a time. All the way up. Go at your own speed. Don't try to match me. If anything goes slower than me, slower the better, because that means we're focusing more one vertebrae at a time. Right, so now let's go back to the flexion. Tuck that tailbone. Keep tucking as I just work up, 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 all the way back. Full cat, or full flex position. Breath, one more time each direction. Untuck, everything else flex. Step that one vertebra that you're working. slow. Full extension. One more time here. Press away from the floor. Tuck that tailbone. Work slowly up the spine. All the way to T-spine. And circles. Good. From there, we're going to stand it up, and then we're just going to get right into some thoracic spine work using the wall. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to stand next to the wall. You're going to hook your arms. You're going to just kind of tuck your arms just like that, and then I'm going to have my feet together. Have them slightly under, just like the hip width apart, right? So not necessarily true hip width, maybe just inside that, or you can go all the way together. It's going to be closer you go, the harder it's going to be to balance. So we just want to be here, right on the wall. Press, so in my case, my right hip into the wall, and I'm just going to work lateral flexion. So here, I'm going to flex my spine as far to my side as I can until I want to come off the wall, right? So I'm trying to drive that hip into the wall. My feet flat, laterally flex, come right back up. Laterally flex. And back up. It's 2. Laterally, so here, you're good. Laterally flex, you got 5 reps, then we'll switch. So really feel this squeeze, feel the stretch on the opening side. 3, 2 more there. Laterally flex, drive that hip into the wall. 4, last one. Laterally flex, 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 flex. And close. Switch sides. Inside hip width apart and not together. Get as close to that wall as you can. Tuck those arms so you get your arms out of the way. Drive that left hip into the wall. And I'm just going to work on lateral flexion as far as I can go until my hip wants to leave that wall. Don't think about squeezing this side here. I get a little cramp, that's okay. And back to the top. That's 1. Lateral flex, hip into the wall. Right when that hip wants to leave the wall, stop, come back up, 2. Squeeze, laterally flex. Back up, 3, 2 more. Squeeze those arms together, create that body tension, squeeze those legs, squeeze those glutes, keep everything stiff and still, squeeze out as much lateral flex as you can. 4, last one here, squeeze those legs, hips into the wall, laterally flex, squeeze, right when you feel like you're going to leave the wall, you come back to the top, and relax, okay? So that may have been more lateral flexion than you're used to getting, right? So when we do our thoracic bars, really work on when we go through here and here, that flexion. Feel that feeling that we just felt working on this part. And really try to squeeze out as much lateral flexion as you can, right? So here, we're going to be kind of sticking with that same theme. So I'm going to heels together, go right on the wall, or just barely off of it. I want both sit bones, both butt cheeks on the wall. And we're just going to work just flexion with rotation. So I'm going to be kind of in this position here with my arms crossed. You can go all the way around here if you like. Cross here, grab your shoulders, whatever's most comfortable for you. I'm going to go from here, so I just create more tension, squeeze my own body, right? So legs are locked out, glutes are on the wall. I'm just going to flex as much as I can until I feel like my hips want to leave the wall, right? So similar thing we just did, instead of lateral flexion, we're just going forward flexion. From there, keep both sit bones on the wall, and we're just going to rotate, laterally flex, pull elbows back in, rotate. We're going to go the other way now. So I'm rotating as far as I can until rotate to my left until this right butt cheek wants to leave the wall, right? So just stay as tight as possible. laterally flex. Elbows come back in. Rotate. Laterally flex. Elbows come back in. Rotate. Laterally flex. Elbows in. That's 2. We got 5 reps each way. Here we go. Rotate. Laterally flex. Keep working, keep working. Those heels on the wall, feet flat. Laterally flex. 2 more. Rotate, both sit bones stay on the wall. Laterally flex as much as possible. Feel that flexion that we were just working on. Almost there. Back to center. Here we go. Rotate. Laterally flex. 1 more time. Rotate. Flex. Elbows come in. T-spine flexion here. Rotate. Feel that flexion. Elbows pull in. And shake it out. And relax. Very good. Okay, so we're going to go into some prone scap retraction. This will be the last thing we do for our scaps today. This will be, if you've done the scap focus class before, this will just be our scap retraction lift off. So we'll be in prone position, and then that'll just give our spine a little break, and then we're just going to finish with 1 more global spinal segmental cat cow, and then some T-spine rotations, and we'll call it a day. So from here, I'm going to lay on the floor, face down. Arms are at my sides. If this is really easy for you, you can lift them up on a block. So you can be kind of up here. Most people, this is plenty. If this is too much, so you can't get good approach for a good retraction and lift up. The farther you bring your hands down, the easier it's going to be to get those hands up. Okay? So feet are together. If you want to take a block, squeeze between your thighs or your knees or your calves, somewhere in there, just to help give you the ability to create more tension. I'm all for it. Make sure those ribs are down, so try to lift that belly button. Hands are right next to my rib cage. Face is down. Here, so I'm going to start by just setting the shoulder blades back down slightly, almost squeezing the body. Create the tension, tuck the tailbone, and lift. Back down. Got 10 reps here, 1 set. And lift. Down. And lift. 3, split, down, 4, split, down, 5, split, down, 6, split, down, 7, split, down, 8, lift, down, 9, last 1, tuck, full body tension, head down and lift. Yeah. Woo, very good. So that's could be challenging for a lot of people because we're not used to retracting at such a depth. So that's good. Just get good full shoulder blade retraction there. So we're just going to finish off 1 each direction cat cow. That's 2 each direction T-spine rotations from the same collapse kneeling position, and we're done. So let's come up here. I will get up, full flexion. Tuck, 1 more rep here, get the most out of it possible. Spine should be nice and loose by now. Loose is a loose turn. And we're just going to relative turn, I should say, here. Let's go all the way, nice and slow. Extension, cow position. 1 more time back into flexion. Nice and slow. Very good. Okay. Last one here. Grab that block again. Sit on those heels. Top of the block, or lower, bottom of the block is on the top of the rib cage. Grab the block here, wrap it around, squeeze it tight, Chin stays in the chest the whole time. Flexion. So make sure we're getting it here. Rotate. Lateral flexion. That should feel quite a bit different. Extension. Feel that segmental extension just like the cat cow. Flexion. Rotation. Come through. One more rep. Same way. Rotation. Lateral flexion. Extend one vertebrae at a time. Lateral flexion. Slight rotation. Back through. 2 more left. Chin stays down. Rotate. Flex. Extend. Flex. Rotate. Pull the elbows in. One more time. Rotate. Flex. Extend up. Laterally flex. Rotate, elbows pull in. And through. Very good. That was a 30-minute spine scap focused Kinstretch class. We got after it with some new positions there today. If that is something that you feel like you need to work on, I recommend you work on that spine. Definitely the cat cow, segmental cat cow, every single day. That's something that everyone should get more work into their spine. Like I said, very rarely do we move our spines enough, especially in today's society, our way of life. So, more spinal work you can get in, the better, and the more you can learn to differentiate scapular motion from spinal motion, the better everything else is going to feel in all your daily activities. So, again, thank you for joining me in today's 30-minute spine scap focused Kinstretch class, and I hope to see you at the next.